Hi, Wonder Hussy here at one of my all-time favorite abandoned locations ever. I found this place about a year ago, and since then I've done a ton of photo shoots here. In fact, I already made a video about it, but it was really poor production quality, so I came back with my HD GoPro to do it again. The fabulous abandoned cement factory. Wow! I was driving around the desert with one of my photographer friends one day, just looking for new locations to shoot nudes at. Places that were sort of out of the way. And we just kind of stumbled on this place, sort of rotting away in the desert. It's really an astonishing place. And I've, done several photo shoots here, and I've blogged about it. And readers and viewers have given me feedback, so now I know the history of this place. This is the abandoned Royal Cement Factory. It's about an hour outside Vegas. And it was originally a cement factory in Minnesota. But during the housing boom in Vegas back in the 2000s, this canny businessman decided that a quick way to make a buck would be to start churning out cement for all those houses that were being built, right? So he bought this busted up old cement plant in pieces out in Minnesota and had it trucked all the way back out here and reassembled in the desert. And once it was set up, they just started churning out cement. This was what's called a rotary kiln. It's lined with fire brick, like insulatory brick. And I guess they would pour like the cement slurry down through it, and sort of it rotated. I don't know if you can see, but it was balanced on these pillars, and there were gears turning it so that it rotated slowly, constantly, and it was at an angle, right? It was at a diagonal coming down, and as the cement slurry sort of trickled down it, it rotated it and baked it and cooked it. And when it came out of the end, I guess it was finished cement. I don't really know a whole lot about the cement making process, but check it out. Look, this is inside the kiln. Look how cool this is. Looks like we're in the catacombs of Paris or something. This is all that insulatory fire brick I was telling you about. Look at that, it's just laying on the ground in piles. Far out. Go to the top here, there's an amazing view of the desert. I've done a lot of nudies in this tunnel here. You can get some really artistic silhouettes. Look how beautiful that is, even on this GoPro. And you come out here, there it is, desert. So amazing. Looks like we're going back down into the void. Anyways, like I was saying, this guy operated this plant out here in the 2000s during the housing boom, but he had a lot of problems. It kind of sounds like he was a greedy kind of a bastard, I guess, because from what I read online, the place got shut down due to numerous OSHA violations. I think a couple of employees died here, and EPA violations. Like there's a little town back up that way, and I guess a cloud of cement dust was constantly hanging over the town. Footing is really uncertain here, you gotta be careful. Especially coming down this kiln because it's tilted like that. So yeah, the plant got shut down in 2008, which was 8 years ago, and it's just kind of been sitting here ever since. It's the most amazing thing to me, especially when I first started coming here a year ago. I was surprised that there wasn't, everything wasn't covered in graffiti. It's in pretty good shape. I mean, there was a little bit of graffiti here and there, but it really wasn't bad. Well, since I started posting pictures of it online, all these other photographers started shooting here, and I mean, I don't know who's to blame for any of it, but there was a lot of shitty graffiti here now. It kind of sucks. It hasn't ruined it, though. It's still a great shooting location. Now, look at this. It almost looks like this kiln just snapped in half. I mean, that's huge. Look at my shadow. I'm tiny. But it doesn't look like it totally snapped because it's a pretty clean break. It looks like it was And you can see here, I mean, like, they cut it on purpose. I wonder why. I mean, if they were gonna dismantle it and sell it for scrap, you'd think it would be taken apart into a bunch of little pieces already, but I don't know, man. Interesting. This is the other piece of the kiln, the first piece. I really like this opening because it looks like a portal into another dimension. Look at this. Ooh. It's not that great to walk in here though, because this, like the other half that we were in had that beautiful fire brick lining it. Well, this did, but you can see the brick has, I guess, deteriorated, or I don't know why it's crumbling, and it's crumbled into this really soft, very caustic, powdery dust that just gets everywhere. So I'm not really gonna go in here very far because I don't want to get all dirty. Just have to take my word for it. It's crazy in here. You can see why this is my favorite abandoned place ever. There's a bunch of different areas here that I want to go poke inside and show you. I mean, aside from the kiln and then that tall building there, there's a lot of these weird little concrete like control rooms, and some of them are kind of interesting, so we'll go check some of those out. But first, let's go in this building right here. I don't know what kind of dealio this was, but it looks like, if you look at the door here, it had soundproofing on it. That's soundproofing. So whatever was in this room, it was soundproofed. But now it's just got these busted old couches and some graffiti that's, you know, you can do some pretty cool pictures against that. It's nice in here any time of day because the light's even. And then up there where that black heart is, that was me. I did that because some ignorant moron spray painted the word nigger, and it just really wasn't cool, and it didn't look good in the background of pictures. So I came in and took care of that when I came in and sprayed over all that Al-Qaeda graffiti that I'll show you in a minute. Here's some of this stupid graffiti that these idiots have spray painted here. I'm guessing it's like townie kids from the little town up the road. Dumb stuff like, your mom's a whore, blah, blah, blah. Like, I don't know if you can see up ahead, it says, I got fucked right here. Well, the sad thing is, some hillbilly probably did. Here's the bullshit graffiti I did to cover up that fake ISIS crap. I think what it was some fake ISIS graffiti. They were shooting a movie here, like a low-budget independent movie. So they wanted to make it look like Mosul or something, and they wrote all this, death to America, blah, blah, blah. But then they left it up after they quit shooting the movie. Like, come on, guys. Once you're finished, clean up after yourselves. It kind of screws the location up for the rest of us. Now, I mean, the graffiti that I did is nice, but it's not very photogenic. In retrospect, I probably should have just come in with gray paint and painted over it. But anyways, I tried. Okay, now let's go in this giant silo-looking tower. I don't know what was in here, but originally here to the left there was a sign that said something like ear protection must be worn, and then it says danger there. So maybe this was some kind of really loud, I don't know what in here, but it's pretty cool. I love this room. Light's beautiful in here. It has all these crazy pipes. Look at this. Man, what was all this controlling? This goes way up into the rafters and oh man, it's just nuts. And then check this out. Look at these valves. Working the line. Turn them off, turn them off. I don't know. They don't do anything anymore. But it's pretty cool in this building, except for look, more stupid graffiti. Okay, way up there on the hill, I think that was where the very top of the kiln must have come down from and then gone all the way that way. I don't know where the rest of the kiln is though, but I'm not really sure what that concrete shaft is built into the mountain. It doesn't go down very deep, it's just there. And then there's a little concrete or cinder block building over there that has like more control panels and stuff in it. Look at this. Look at this giant friggin'... I remember I looked this up online with cement plants, and this thing, how it has all the nubs on it. It was for crushing or milling the clinker, I think it's called. Like the big chunks of cement. They just kind of ground it up with that thing. Isn't that nuts? And they used these round metal balls to mill or bust up the clinker. I'll see if I can find one of those to show you. They're laying all over the ground here. There's a lot of really interesting junk on the ground here. I mean, it's a treacherous place. You got to be careful for like rusty nails and stuff, but you can find some pretty cool stuff out here. I mean, just look at this. It's getting to be golden hour right now. The light is just beautiful. Look at the size of this thing. I mean, the scale here is just enormous. I mean, here's an idea of how big it is. Look. Oh, it's really toxic here. Look. This barrel of oil just leaking onto the ground. It's pretty gross. I definitely recommend taking a shower after visiting this location. Ugh. Another thing you see here are these piles and piles of what looks like white worms. But you know what it is? It's filters, man. It's just like long tubes of filters. They look like tentacles almost, but they're filters to catch all the really fine cement powder, the dust. Remember how I said earlier there was always a cloud of cement dust hanging over this town nearby? So they got fined by the EPA. Well, apparently these filters weren't doing their job. But look at this thing, man. This was some kind of crazy... Sorry about my shadow in the picture. Crazy friggin' filter with like all these tubes coming off it in every direction, like a hydra. It's like tentacles. So weird. Look at that. It's like something from another planet. Look at that. These are chock full of cement dust. They're solid, packed. Wow. So surreal. And there's just a ton of them. And then you look down at the ground and it's all this really gross black, almost like coal or charcoal looking stuff. I think that might have been debris left over from the furnace. I mean, they had that rotary kiln turning 24/7. So they had to keep the fire stoked around the clock to keep the cement coming. Remember, in the housing boom in Vegas, they were building these ship boxes left and right. They had no time to wait. So they had these long conveyor belts. I mean, these conveyor belts go on and on and on, feeding the furnace, just stoking the furnace constantly. And they would feed it anything that burned, but things that had I guess like a high combustion point, like old tires, were really good for fuel because they would just burn really hot, very toxic and gross, but they would keep that furnace going around the clock to build more homes for valet parkers and cocktail waitresses. Very important. Some more stupid graffiti some ninny painted here. What an idiot. It's a real shame. Okay, now, in the interest of time, I'm not going to go in every single one of these little control buildings, but let's at least go check out this one. Be careful, it's a little uneven walking in here, and as usual, I'm wearing flip-flops. But remember, I do a lot of nude photo shoots here, so flip-flops are nothing. I've gone around barefoot. But look at this. This is where all the control panels were to all these different machines. The excitation amps. I'm not sure what an excitation was, but there's the excitation adjuster. Westinghouse made it. Look at this. And look at all these controls here. Kiln feed air slide dust collector. Oh, maybe that was for those vents. Oh, well, apparently the vents need T-leads. That's how you would control them. Wow, man, just crazy. Look at all this. Mill feed belt conveyor number 2. Precip rotary south number 4. What is all this stuff? I don't even know. Wow, look, it looks like we're in Chernobyl. Look at this, like jerry-rigged, handwritten. I mean, no wonder this place, look at this big screw Chevy bag house. No wonder this place went out of business. It looks like a real Mickey Mouse operation. The active blower. I hope everybody knows one of them. Let's look in this one. Look at all these measurements. This looks like something out of the 50s or the Jetsons or something. I mean, look at this hokey ass handwritten map diagram of how to control this. I mean, what the heck was this place? Who was running this? But here's what I think is really interesting. I found this graffiti in here one time. It's like a log, like day 41. Started control wiring, blah, blah, blah. Then here's the week ending 10/14/07. Che Sosa died on Tuesday. I mean, how fucking freaky is that? That's like something out of John Steinbeck. Who was Che Sosa? What happened? It's terrible. That was back in 07. Look, Carol C. reporting for duty. Be careful, Carol. You might be next. It's just out of control in this place. Absolutely astonishing. Anyway, the place is just sitting here. It's not, there's no trespassing signs or anything. I think it's BLM land now. But as far as I can tell, aside from photo shoots, the only thing that really goes on out here is shooters come out here with guns. They do a lot of target shooting and they just shoot stuff up, like that electrical tower in the background. I don't know if you can see that back there. It's a non-functioning electrical tower. But there was a lot of those ceramic insulators on it, and they're all shot to hell. So it's a shooter's paradise here. Both kinds of shooting, you know, shooting guns and shooting models. I'm just looking on the ground before I log off. I wanted to just show you some of the crazy rusted up junk that's all over the place here. It's the most interesting litter. Industrial litter everywhere, but I can't find any of those little balls I wanted to show you. Oh, look at this. It's a whole roll of tape. It's all glued together now, but wow, there's a piece of a shot up insulator like I was telling you. Here's another insulator. Look at this. But you know what? One of my other favorite things about this place, aside from its surreality, is it's so peaceful here. Listen. Just magical. So anyway, that's the cement factory. If anything, it's taught me a lesson about sharing stuff on social media. I've always been the type to, like, I want to make videos and share places with people. Like when I go to a cool hot spring, I want to put it on the web and share it with everyone so everybody can enjoy it. And I get a lot of haters commenting, especially with the hot springs. Meh, don't tell people about our space. You might as well just tell the world. Meh, meh, meh. And I don't really get on board with that kind of mentality because I firmly believe this land is our land, right? And a lot of the hot springs that I've read about online, I've gone to them and I've picked up litter there and I've made them better. So if I had never found the information to find the hot spring in the first place, it'd be covered in garbage. So who's to say that any new people that find these springs through my videos aren't going to better them, right? Well, it's a I have mixed feelings because with this place, once I started shooting here and posting stuff online, more people started coming here, and now it's, you know, this graffiti, and it's kind of a bummer. But on the whole, I'm still not really, I don't regret having shared it because, like I said, this land is our land. This plant did a lot of, you know, damage to people's health and whatnot, so shit. We might as well get our revenge now by coming out here and having fun. And with that being said, I'm gonna shoot some nudies.